So Jon Stewart has used his celebrity in some of the most effective way that I have ever seen. You probably all recall that he has been a tireless advocate for 9/11 first responders, making sure that they get the care and compensation that they deserve. Now he's turned his attention to warfighters in Iraq and Afghanistan who were exposed to these toxic burn pits, many of whom have developed cancer and other illnesses since then, which has not been covered by the American government. Let's take a listen to what he had to say to Jake Tapper.
1990 and 1991 and 1980 and 1970, the way this country has gone to war, we've always had endless funds to wage war and no funds for the consequences of war to the war fighter when they come home. And that has to change. We have to change the paradigm that we operate in. Look, ultimately, in theory, everyone is supportive of this. The idea that, America's war fighters have gone over there and have been exposed to things and now they're sick. But the reality of it is it's money.
And that's it exactly. They're happy to beef up the military budget, happy to send them into the wars, happy to keep those wars going for years and years and years and give them big applause and ovation. But when it comes to actually caring for their needs and the ramifications of their service, then suddenly no one's there.
No, I mean, it was the same thing with 9/11, right? They were heroes. And then 15 years later, when they're all riddled with cancer and they actually need more funding, nowhere to be seen. The deficit, people are holding it up in order to play. Yeah, exactly. I mean, these people are the most they're monsters, really. I mean, if you think about the banality of what it takes in order to deny people funding for this. And burn pits is exactly one of those externalities where, the Pentagon doesn't want to pay it because they're like, then you'd have to acknowledge it, and who knows how much liability that comes with. Just think about that. You send a 22-year-old to war with this horrific experiences, but let's even say he's inside the wire and exposed to these burn pits.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it gets a rare brain cancer, as I've seen in some particular cases, and then can't get the VA or somebody to do anything about it. That is the story of this war.
It's outrageous. I mean, they burnt everything in there. It was jet fuel and all kinds of
metal and
horrible, toxic things. And what they're saying is, well, there's not enough proof to tie your cancer to your exposure to these burn pits. Well, is there not enough proof, or do you not want to find the proof?
Exactly.
Because that puts you on the hook. And of course, look, there's a long and ugly history here. A lot of people have talked about Agent Orange and how long it took for there to be any recognition or any sort of compensation for people who were sick and died from exposure to Agent Orange. So glad to see Jon Stewart out there as a clarion call to all of our moral conscience. Of course, the American people would be 100% behind it, and it's only our lousy legislators who want to make excuses for not giving people the care that they have earned and deserve.
No, exactly. I mean, if it wasn't for Jon, nobody would know, right? And so many people would continue to die from a rare form of cancer that, of course, is linked to these burn pits. So I'm glad he is, and everybody go check out his organization so you can learn a little bit more about this and actually try and pressure Congress to do something about it.
Absolutely, and we'll stay on it here as well, and we'll have more Rising for you after this.